Now this may be of interest to anybody who has a W124 or similar, I guess, with an electric seat mechanism. This is from the passenger side of my 1994 facelift W124 estate. Now occasionally on the passenger side the seat won't move when you hold down the switch, but you can bang on the car door and that starts it going. So I figured out there must be a loose connection or something in there. So I've took off the switch panel, as you can see, and all the connections on the back are here. The plugs seem fine. I've took the plugs out, plugged them back in. Exactly the same issue. So it isn't the connections, and I don't think it's the wiring either, because I've tried wiggling around the wiring and it doesn't seem to cause any problem or solve the problem. So the only thing that does solve the problem when it happens is whacking the top of the door card. So I've decided to take it to bits, and basically it's very easy. There's two screws here holding it in the car and on the door card. So once you've disconnected them, you can pull it out, and then you just disconnect the 4 plugs at the back, and then the whole thing just lifts off the car. And then you have a unit that looks like this. So you prise off this little clips all around the side of the casing. You could just prise them off with a screwdriver or a little knife or something, and very carefully just pull it off, and that's what you get. You won't lose anything by doing that. I was a bit concerned that everything would spring out and the whole thing would be ruined, but it seems fine. There doesn't seem to be any access to the back of this. I guess you could prise the circuit board out as well, and I've just took off one of these casings off one of the offending parts that didn't work, and it all looks fine. It's a micro switch mechanism, and as you can hear, it all clicks in, and I can see the little triggers clipping in fine. They're fine, there's nothing wrong with them. That works. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. So I think the culprit's going to be down to bad soldering, maybe on the other side of this board. So I'm just going to put this right back on and try and prise away the back, so I can get to the back of this circuit board and take a look there. I just thought I'd show you the inside of this casing, because I don't think there's anything on YouTube for that, so somebody might benefit from seeing this. Who knows? But anyway, I'm going to try and open up the rear of that circuit board. Okay, I've tried lightly pulling back the plastic, trying to prise out this circuit board, and I can't seem to get it off. So there seems to be 2 plastic parts showing through, one there, and I think there was one somewhere else as well. Maybe not, maybe just the one. Oh yes, one just down here. Here, so there and there. I'm not going to attempt anymore to prise this off, because it does work most of the time, and I don't want to damage it enough to actually completely break it, because finding a facelift one of these is very difficult, near on impossible. A second-hand one, that is. Obviously you can get one from Mercedes, but it's very expensive. But for anybody interested, that appears to be the part number. This is a This is a mechanism that is standard passenger side seat, electric seat mechanism, but it doesn't have any memory function. Sometimes you can get memory 1, 2 on the top. You don't get that, but you do get tilt, forward and backwards, up and down, height, and you've got the headrest as well. I've no idea with the pre-facelift innards are the same as the facelift. This is a facelift one, but I know that there's slightly different mechanism. As on my driver's side, this broke, and this is a problem because getting that back on isn't easy. I tried gluing it, and it didn't stay on for long because it's under quite a lot of force when you try to move the forward and backward switch, especially on the driver's side. That gets used a lot more because my wife likes the seat right forward, whereas I like it almost completely back. So it does get used quite a bit, and as I say, there's no memory function, so you have to manually sort of use the switch. Anyway, so I glued it, didn't work. I also used a soldering iron and sort of melted the plastic together, and that did work for a while, but then that broke. Anyway, so what I've now done is repaired it by taking this off and basically inserting a tiny little screw in there that holds it all together, and that does work, and that's how it's working at the moment. So the passenger side is good anyway. There's a little broken bit here. That was like it when I got the car, and I think that's from removal, because when you remove these, you've basically got to prise the buttons off, and it's very fragile, tiny little buttons, and they're very hard to replace. You can get the headrest one quite cheap from China on eBay, but finding the other ones is very difficult. So whenever you're handling one of these, you need to be careful, because you're not going to be able to get a second-hand one very easily, certainly not cheaply. Right, so I thought I'd show you just when I assemble it again exactly what it's like on the passenger side to reassemble. Got all the plugs here, you plug those in, so I'll do that now. Okay, now the mechanism's screwed back in, there's a couple of little things you need to do whilst fitting one of these. Push that back on now. This goes on, this little plate goes on, clips on like that over the top. Just making sure that all the little tangs line up. Yeah, there you go. There's a way these things clip on, you've got to get one thing in a certain way, so there we go. So I've got that on. Now it's time to put the trim pieces on. And this is where it can get a little bit tricky. It's easy to put them on, I guess, but it's not so easy to take them off. There's this little trim piece here, this little clip thing, plastic, almost like a plastic circlip. That needs to be clipped in there. That's before you can take this off. You need to take that off, otherwise that's probably why that's broken. You know, somebody's tried to prise that off, pulling out it. Anyway, so once that's off, you can now clip in this goes into there, just making sure that the holes are lining up. So that bit goes into there, and that bit goes into the bit at the top, and then it just pushes to position like that. And then you have the headrest. Then finally, this is the one I mentioned earlier, very delicate, is this this one, and this is the seat base. So what you've got to do, you've got to try and make sure that the holes are aligned, and then clip it into place, and that's it. Then so this is why this one doesn't go back. You've got to, basically what I'm having to do is just bang like that, and then it works. It's very annoying, but I'll sort it eventually. Probably get a second-hand part maybe to keep an eye out. Otherwise, one of these days when I've got some time, I'll fix it, take the circuit board off and have a look. But for now, I tried to fix it. Can't fix it. Any suggestions? Put some comments in the comments box. Anything that you want to say about the video, be much appreciated. Put that in the comment box, and see you next time for more Mercedes classic repairs.